the father, Andrew Ruiz Sr. Welcome to London.
Hello. I'm real happy we're here in London that we came over here, and the people are real nice, so we're happy to do this press conference right here.
Right. Obviously, there was a big upset in the first fight. Andrew Ruiz made his name known. The whole world was in shock. But Anthony Joshua reckons he's going to get those titles back. What do you reckon? December the 7th, what do you reckon is going to happen?
I think it's going to be real hard for Anthony Joshua this fight to get the titles back, because the last fight we just prepared 3 weeks.
Let me get Spencer in.
3 weeks a month. That's what we prepared on the fight. So Andy was not ready for that fight, and look at what he did to Anthony Joshua. Now he got 3 months doing the preparation, so it's gonna be tough, a real tough fight for Anthony Joshua. We see who come victorious in that day.
Hey, we've got to give a bit of Anglo, bit of balance to this argument. I'd like to be joined also by Spencer Oliver, Sky Sports boxing pundit. Spencer, Andrew Ruiz Sr. reckons it's going to be the same as the first fight. I know you gave some excellent tactical breakdowns last time out. I mean, what are you saying this time? Obviously, Andy Ruiz Jr. has dropped a lot of. He's going to keep it very much the same. Joshua's lost a lot of weight. What do you see this time?
Well, listen, it's always going to be a tough fight. We know that. We know it's going to be a really tough fight. It's difficult to win rematches. Going straight into a rematch is very difficult to win. AJ's taking a massive risk. And I will say that he's taking a huge risk going straight back into the immediate rematch. A lot of people felt that he should have had some warm-up fights. I was probably one of those. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a serious fighter, and we know that. We spoke to Joseph Parker about this. Joseph Parker said that he was a dangerous fighter before the fight happened. He was underestimated, Ruiz Jr., and I think he's proven his ability to be a champion. And yeah, it's a tough fight for Joshua. It really is a big gamble, a huge gamble. Ruiz Jr. It will start very even, this fight, as opposed to the last fight where Joshua was a massive favourite. I think that Ruiz Jr. maybe. You know, it's an even fight, man. It's a tough fight. It's a tough one to call.
Hey, Ruiz Senior, Joshua's talked about the punch that won it, or shall I say that influenced the result of the fight, as a punch from the gods.
Right, let me stop you there before you even say that. So we saw what happened in the last fight, and you know, whether there was issues before the fight or not before the fight, we don't really know, but we saw how the fight unfolded. The first round was quite even, the second round was quite even, then Joshua caught Ruiz Jr. Ruiz went down, he was stunned, not hurt. Joshua went in for the finish and got caught with a big left hook. It wasn't a punch from a god. He got caught with a big left hook, he went over, and then as the rounds unfolded, Ruiz Jr. was starting to take over. He was starting to dominate the fight. The 6th round was a big round for him. He was beating Joshua to the head, to the body, and started taking complete control. And then obviously in the 7th round he went over another couple of times and the fight was stopped. I don't think it was a punch from the gods. I think that it was a case of Ruiz Jr. just starting to slowly take over as the fight unfolded. So yeah, that's a big shout by Joshua, saying it's a punch from the gods. Listen, when Lennox Lewis knocked out Oliver McCall, that was a punch from the gods. When Hussein Rahman knocked out Lennox Lewis, that was a punch from the gods. But this wasn't. This was a fight that just unfolded the way it unfolded, and yeah, so that's probably a big shout, and probably not justified, if I'm honest. I think Ruiz Jr. done an excellent job on the fight. He started taking control of the fight and systematically broke Joshua down and broke him into submission. And that's the problem Joshua's got going into this next fight. Speaking as an ex-fighter, I'm going to tell you what happens. It's right saying there was problems before and this happened, that happened. Whatever it was, when he comes to that ring walk, he's got to deal with those demons, as well as Andy Ruiz Jr. That's why historically rematches go pretty much the same way when you go into the immediate rematch. You know, so Joshua's got a lot of mental stuff to overcome as well. And I think we've seen already in the build-up to this fight, he looks more tense than he normally does. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next couple of months unfold. But Joshua's, you know, he's got a tough task in front of him.
Yeah. Can he take heart from the knockdown, the early knockdown against Ruiz in the last fight?
listen, I think that, you know, he's a heavyweight and he hits really hard. Anyone he catches is going to go over. He can take a lot of heart from that, but then on the flip side, Ruiz Jr. got back up and done what he done. So you can't really look too much into it. Okay, every fight, if a fighter gets hit on the chin, especially a heavyweight, you're going to go over. It's how you respond to that. Ruiz Jr. responded very well to that. He recovered quickly. He got up, and Joshua made the mistake of thinking he had Ruiz Jr. hurt. Now that's what Joshua now has got to sort of go back to the drawing board. He's a great student of the sport, Joshua. He will try and, you know, he won't want to make those fundamental mistakes again. But listen, this is exciting, man. This is a huge fight in Saudi Arabia. For me, it's going to go down in history of like the George Foreman and Ali and Fraser, Fraser and Ali. This is one of those fights. This is that sort of magnitude of fight. This is huge, man. We haven't had a heavyweight fight like this in a long time.
Ruiz Senior, what did your son say? How's it going to end this time?
Well,
earlier, later?
We're going to end it the same way. It's going to be the same way. You can see that Andy from the first round, he was controlling Anthony Joshua. And the third round, it was a lucky punch.
So was that punch from the guts?
Yeah. It was a lucky punch because he was coming out. That was a lucky punch.
So you got both teams saying it was a lucky punch.
Guts, yeah?
That was a lucky punch because he was coming out and he was confident that he was getting Anthony Joshua. So it was a lucky punch for Anthony Joshua. Now it's not gonna be any more lucky punches. It's gonna be. We already saw how he fight before. We didn't even see his fights. How Anthony Joshua fight. We just came with a close eyes to fight Anthony Joshua. With a month with the preparation, we didn't see any of his fights. Now we know how he fights. So Andy's gonna be more confident now that he knows that he can hurt Anthony Joshua. So it's gonna be a tough fight for Anthony Joshua. A real tough fight.
Listen, it's the mental side of things we got to think here. That both guys physically will be prepared like they was last time, and they'll be in great condition. It's the mental aspects of the sport. This sport is 20% physical, 80% mental. Ruiz Jr. is going to go in there more confident than he was last time because he's had victory. Joshua's going to go in there now with these demons because he's got to overcome. He thought he had to turn up to win. It's one of those situations. Can he do it, Joshua? Listen, of course he can. He's a great fighter, but it's not a foregone conclusion. It's a tough fight, man. Like Ruiz Jr. is going to go in there with a new added confidence. When you're challenger, then you become champion. It elevates you to another level. To say.
And let me tell you something. Now we're going to ask to the gods for more punches, not for one punch. We're going to ask for a lot of punches to God. And we always pray to God before we get into the ring.
Brilliant.
So we're going to ask for more punches.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Brilliant.
Look forward to the fight in Saudi Arabia, December the 7th, baby.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Here we go. Arriba.